Hello, I am Xarkun, and this is World of Warships Legends. Today I've got a capture the base mode battle for you on the Land of Fire map, and once more we find ourselves in the legendary Soviet destroyer Khabarovsk. This time we are running Anton Gurin as our commander in order to achieve the longest gun range possible, and so we have. That's basically the main point, in my view, of the Gurin build. I'll show you a screenshot of the build at the end of this video for those who are curious to see it, but main points on the build: sidestep. One of the skills in the fourth row of Gurin skills increases the gun range by the most you can get out of any destroyer skills, especially comparative to Trubetskoy's skill that increases gun range and fire chance of the high explosive shells by a significant amount, but really cuts down on the alpha strike of the HE shells. Honestly, not the best trade-off in my opinion, although the fire chance is nice. You can definitely turn the Khabarovsk or any Russian destroyer into a flamethrower, and they all benefit from increased gun range. But sidestep on Gurin increases the gun range even further. It doesn't cut down on the high explosive alpha strike. It also increases incoming fire dispersion, which makes you harder to hit, and the only downside is an increase to rudder shift time. You might also want to run the flank speed skill on Gurin, but that further increases the rudder shift time at the benefit of increasing the destroyer's maximum speed. Certainly, increasing the speed would be good for the Khabarovsk, but frankly, I don't want to cut down on the rudder shift time any more than it already is, because it's slow to begin with, and to compensate for that, we are running double steering gears in the mod slots. Also, we're running the gun range mod in the fourth slot, so we've got that. Sidestep on Gurin, Rumble as an inspiration, and the epic booster of Battle Propensity Flag. Keep in mind, my Gurin is rank 16 Legendary 3, and my Rumble commander is rank 16 Legendary 1, both very high level, so that is why I am able to achieve the incredible range of 14.7 kilometers with these guns, nearly 15 kilometers. And this, I think, is great for the Khabarovsk. It is a medium to long-range HE slinging cruiser, essentially, with no citadel. And that's how we're going to play it in this match. We're also going to practice the concept of evasion tanking, which that's basically what the Khabarovsk is for. You take it out there, you shoot at literally everything. You don't worry about being spotted ever because your concealment is so poor. You're going to be spotted all the time. All you do is go out here and you harass enemy ships, battleships, cruisers, destroyers, especially destroyers. If you see them, you should shoot at them. In fact, I'm going to tunnel vision a few times in this game, and I'm going to point those instances out to you. But, you harass the ships, you get them to shoot back at you, and ideally you dodge the incoming fire so that you don't take any damage. And because the fire was directed at you rather than your teammates, in that way you are tanking damage for your team by evading damage. In order to do that well, you want to mess with the throttle, kick it into full gear, bring it back down all the way to stop, even reverse. In between salvos, battleships shoot at you. If you can maintain a distance of, ideally, I would say, 11 kilometers or more, it becomes very, very, very difficult for battleships to hit you when you are maneuvering all the time, when you're going up and down with the throttle. You can see this Alabama, he's probably quite frustrated that he has not been able to hit us. His guns are aimed squarely our way, and as a consequence, he's not shooting at any of our teammates. Got torpedoes coming in at him from one of the friendly destroyers who does end up taking him down. So we switch fire now to the Alaska, who is not shooting at us, and I think is shooting at either one of the battleships out there, potentially the destroyer that just took down the Alabama. And frankly, he's overextended, he's pushed out very far, he's kind of caught in a crossfire from our entire team, so the damage that we are inflicting on him is just a little bit of an amplification of the damage that our team is doing to him. At the same time, it is not insignificant, and Gurin's base trait, along with a skill in the third row called Piercer, does increase the penetrative capabilities of the armor piercing. So if something like an Alaska gives you broadside, you can get 3 to 5k salvos on that. You saw a little bit of that there, but of course the Alaska is now angling away, so the AP does become a little bit less effective. Honestly, I probably am not switching shells optimally in this game all the time. What I tend to like to do is try to light a fire on an enemy ship, even if it's giving broadside, and then switch to the armor piercing. But I actually think this might be more effective with this build if you exclusively shot the armor piercing at broadside ships and didn't worry about fires. Only worry about fires when the ships are angled and your AP can't do damage. Nevertheless, we don't really do that in this game, but I really love the Khabarovsk, and I think I'm going to try to incorporate that kind of thing into my playstyle with it, shooting more AP. The AP is effective. It's even pretty effective, surprisingly so, at longer ranges, probably due to the high shell velocity on these guns. Now, things are about to start looking bad for my team. We're even on ships. We're not that far behind on points, but soon the enemy is going to overtake us, and we're going to be faced with a bit of an issue in the Khabarovsk with this build. We don't have access to twist and track that Trubetskoy can give us. So we don't have any indication where enemy destroyers might be unless they're spotted on the map. So, you know, that is a downside, and it is very, very difficult to engage enemy destroyers with this ship and this build if they don't want to be seen. It's difficult anyway, even with the Gurin build and the benefit of twist and track. Still, every destroyer is going to outspot you, so that is the downside of this ship. That and the fact that it's not the most maneuverable, so it can be susceptible to taking torpedoes. Now, however, we are down on ships, and it's 2 cruisers and 2 destroyers on the blue team versus 2 destroyers and 3 battleships. There, we're tunnel visioning. We're shooting at the Jean Bar, dodging salvos from the Jean Bar and the Yamato, which we need to do, and we need to pay pretty close attention to these ships shooting at us in order to do it. But we're missing the fact that the 2 enemy destroyers were spotted within our gun range, sort of directly behind us. And ideally, I think we probably should have shot at them. There's no guarantee that they're going to be spotted again in this match, and it's starting to look like we're going to have no choice but to kill them in order to win. Now, luckily, the friendly Shimakaze comes through with torpedoes once more, takes out the Jean Bart, and the Yamato is on fairly low health, so we're hoping to be able to burn him down here. We're also getting to be on kind of low health, 8k hit points left, 8,500, and that is going to give these enemy destroyers a false impression. It's going to trick them into thinking they can actually inflict damage on us when in fact really they can't. Speaking of inflicting damage, we've shooed away most of the Yamato's remaining hit points, he's not even aiming at us. He's aiming at our final friendly cruiser. But we take him out just as he fires the salvo. Doesn't look like the salvo is going to end up being lethal for our teammate, who is an Ochakov, but he's still got a mostly full health Iowa to contend with. So my hopes aren't high that he's going to survive till the end of the battle. And now, theoretically, the Shimikazes could start trying to push into our base. They're probably worried about the Ochakov since it is a radar cruiser and it can be very lethal if it spots the Shimas with its radar and starts shooting at them. He's on low health though. Again, not really high hopes for him to survive till the end of the battle. This Iowa too on mostly full health, and keep this in mind because I really don't think he's going to take a whole lot of damage from the friendly Ochakov. I think pretty much all the damage he's going to take for the rest of this game is, for the most part, going to be inflicted by my guns. I don't think he's going to take any torpedo damage either. And really, if you think about this, it is pretty incredible. You know, conventional wisdom, in most gunboat destroyers, you aren't going to be gunning down a full health Iowa, but you'll see. Shimikaze shoots at me. He must think that he's got a fighting chance, since I only have 8,500 hit points, but I'm going to be real blunt. If you are in a Shimikaze and you see a Khabarovsk on what you think is relatively low health, it's a lot more health than you think. The Khabarovsk does have that 50 millimeters of side plating, and it will shatter a lot of your HE. So the Shima, despite hitting us a number of times, did 0 damage, and he actually goes down to the friendly Shima's torpedoes. Firing at the Iowa again, and we fail to notice that the other enemy Shimikaze is spotted within our gun range. Now, the Iowa has turned his turrets to shoot at our friendly teammate there, who is actually a Yudachi. I think I've been saying it's a Shimikaze. It's not. It's a Yudachi. So the friendly Yudachi is under fire from both the Iowa and the Shimikaze. He's firing back at the Shima. We're chiming in here too with the guns, trying to hit the Shima. He's on, he's at the more extreme end of our range, and it is a little bit difficult with these shells sort of dispersing not so well to land shots on him, but we are chipping away at his hit points. Unfortunately, he does take down the friendly Yudachi, I think with his torpedoes there, leaving us the sole survivor on our team versus a little bit under half health Iowa, who is still burning away merrily. We're going to switch to the armor piercing since the Iowa is giving us a broadside, but I think this Iowa is, well, no, he's not quite wise to our tricks. We're able to juke his salvo there, and we're chipping away on his HP with the AP now. What we want to do, though, is sail toward the last known location of that Shima. I was hoping I would be able to intercept that Shima. A lot of the time, well, frankly, the enemy team doesn't really have to do anything except not die in order to win this game. This Iowa probably doesn't think he's at much of a risk of dying from being shot at by a destroyer, but he is. The Shimikaze could win this for his team, though. All he needs to do is not be spotted at all. The fact that the Iowa is on our base is stopping our accrual of points, so we've got no way to get any unless I sink ships. And with a Shimikaze 5 kilometers away from me, pretty much all my shells are going to hit. It only takes 2 volleys to send him to the bottom of the sea, and that just leaves the Iowa. But notice the timer, less than 1 minute left to go. Iowa still has maybe about a fifth of his health left. Are we going to be able to take him down in the remaining time? Not if our shells are shattering against his side armor. We need to aim a little bit higher. I think we do here. And it looks like he's turning to give us broadside again. So we're going to switch to the AP, fire or no fire. Luckily, we do get a fire. And now we're going to be able to take off nice juicy chunks of his hit points with the armor piercing. There is a fantastic chunk. Can't really see what the second one does. I kind of thought I had lost the game here by losing sight of the Iowa. Only 15 seconds left, or 12 seconds, and the Iowa goes down with 10 seconds left on the clock. We essentially killed him with our guns from full health at long range. And I think this video sort of shows you what the Khabarovsk is capable of if you slap Anton Gurin on there and build for maximum gun range. Clutch victory at the end, 3,200 base XP, 3 kills, over 200,000 damage done, Confederate, Witherer, and High Caliber. Pretty good game in the Khabarovsk, and here is the Gurin build if you want to see it for yourself. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.